Guys, what is going on? I hope everyone's having a fantastic day. Just want to go over some things real quick. Probably going to shorten this video down, not make it too long. But I wanted to kind of go over live with you why I got into the trade that I got into currently. Right now, as you can see, it's 6:15. I've been in this trade since 6 o'clock when the futures open. Some of you might be like, oh my gosh, it's been 15 minutes and you're in a trade. That's a long time to be in a trade. First off, trading futures at nighttime is a lot different than trading during the day when things are very volatile. Um, it's typically pretty slow price action. It'll pick up around 8 o'clock and 2 o'clock. The transition from, Asian session to London session. But as far as, anywhere from 6 o'clock to 8 o'clock, that 2 hour span, typically it's super slow. And then obviously at 8 o'clock, you'll get a big candle typically. But want to kind of go over what I'm looking at here. As you can see, I'm up $62.50 on this one ES long contract. It's fluctuating 50 to 62. If it goes, super hard against me, I'll definitely be averaging down. Made an alert in the Discord group. Just let everybody know kind of my levels, what I'm looking at. Again, I didn't have time to trade today, so I figured I'd trade at night. And trading at night's nice because it's, like I said, it's less volatile. It's just slow. So, if you don't want to be staring at the charts and just want to kind of put these levels up, these take profit and stop losses, it's definitely easy to do this. Especially if you're someone who doesn't have the time to dedicate to trading. I do have the time to dedicate to trading, but just the last couple days I've been busy during the day with moving and stuff. But what am I looking at here? Well, on the short time frame, the 5 minute, obviously we have this 5 minute fair value gap. Now I went through before 6 o'clock open and marked up everything on the chart. So what does that mean? Well, I look down here. Obviously, I'm going to mark the lows from today, and then we can obviously go back and see that, all the other lows were swept today. So all of the liquidity, London low, the low from yesterday, New York stock, New York session, all of that's been swept here. So all I simply did was just created a box here on the new lows, right? That's obviously going to be an area of engineered liquidity. We have some engineered liquidity here. And obviously once it comes and grabs this, it's probably going to grab all of it. So the likelihood of it grabbing that now is probably, not going to happen since it just swept some major lows here. So could happen tomorrow or maybe, Thursday or Friday again, or it could just rally and wait to grab that. But marked everything up, marked my end dog. In today's case, new day opening gap is what that means. Today, if you look at the chart, this is specifically ES. There's no gap. That's why I put no gap. Typically, you'll have an end dog close and an end dog open, and then the gap in between is what'll eventually get filled. So the end dog or end wog typically acts as a level of it's like a magnet essentially. So it's definitely a level to go. If I zoom out on this, you can see I just deleted some actually, but we're pretty down, but I have end dogs everywhere, right? So I marked my imbalances on the higher time frames. Looking up here, we have this little box in here. This is an imbalance back here. We have the buy side liquidity. Now, the reason I made a big box and not just up here is because obviously if you look at price action, it came up into the liquidity but rejected out of it. Didn't want to be in there. So I have this big box. This is going to be an area that I'm watching heavily. Rather it be I'm going to short in this area, or rather it be I'm going to go long if it busts through this violently. It really depends what happens when we get to that point. But looking at everything, the reason I got into long today is knowing, obviously it's already swept the lows, hasn't swept the highs yet. Again, depending on what your trailing stop losses or whatever it could be, some people are going to hold, for longer time frames. But me, general, my general entry is going to be, my general consensus is going to be taking profit at certain profit, points. Obviously, there's a lot of confluence that's going to get up here because not only do we have this area in the market that hasn't been priced in yet, but we also have this 5-minute fair value gap here. And getting into the 30-minute, obviously on the 30-minute we have a much bigger fair value gap, and the fair value gaps on the higher time frames are going to be much more respected levels than the lower levels. We can even jump into the 1 hour here and see this is an inverse fair value gap. And obviously this is a pretty massive fair value gap that eventually is going to get filled. Probably have a rejection here unless we have a violent breakthrough, but maybe we'll see some sort of wick up to this imbalance once it gets through, and then the candle body is going to close within this. So lot of conviction. Obviously you can see, you're going to go, well, your take profit's way down here. Why not put it at the top here? It's just because everybody's got their own take profit. Like I said, right now I'm in one ES long position, prepared to average in, obviously bringing this profit that I'll take, doubling it. So it's all about averaging, smartly and having your take profit areas, because remember, news could drop, whatever. Obviously I could hold all the way up to this imbalance, or all the way up to that liquidity box that we looked at. But going into it at nighttime, I really just have my take profits, and that's that. There's always time to get back in. So and then we even have this other fair value gap up here that hasn't been filled yet in the 5 minutes. So that's the reasoning for getting in this long. Hope the video helps, kind of pointing out what I'm looking for. Again, sometimes it can turn into a long hold when you're trading at night, but it gives people a great opportunity that work a day job and can't trade during the day, especially if you have been trading options or have it. This is a great opportunity, being able to trade at night. So hope you guys enjoy the video. I'll see you on the next one, and everybody have a fantastic Wednesday.